Good day, everyone. Before we start, I'd like me to introduce myself first. Hi, I'm Rosenio Ferranti Jr. and I'm your moderator for today's discussion about breaking barriers, advancing gender equality, and women's empowerment in the 21st century. We also have our panelists, Ms. Jessa Alparo,
Hi everyone.
Ms. Nicole Lorenzo,
Good day everyone.
Ms. Sanapia Macalatas,
Hi everyone.
Mr. Alton Neri,
Hi everyone, good day.
Mr. Santos Kyle,
Hi everyone.
and lastly, Ms. Manchetinho.
Hi everyone, good day.
So, breaking barriers, advancing gender equality, and women's empowerment in the 21st century, we all know that gender equality and women's empowerment have become critical topics in today's world as societies strive for progress and inclusivity. Achieving true gender equality requires addressing systemic barriers, empowering women economically and socially, and challenging societal norms that perpetuate gender-based discrimination. So this panel discussion aims to explore the multifaceted dimension of gender equality and women's empowerment, highlighting key challenges, opportunities, and strategies for creating a more equitable and empowered society. So now let us watch the video for further information in regards to our topics today.
Gender inequality doesn't make sense on any level. By marginalizing the rights of women, we deny ourselves the opportunity to lift millions of men, women, and children out of poverty. Not to mention the chance of a just and fair world. From birth, girls and boys, women and men are expected by society to play certain roles and behave in certain ways based on traditions, religion, and other beliefs. These behaviors are learned and shape the gender norms in a society. Unfortunately, in many countries, gender norms create disadvantages for women. Often, girls are not sent to school. When they become women, they then have limited ability to earn money or realize their potential. Rural women play a major role in agricultural development. However, in many developing countries, women cannot formally own land. Without land, they cannot get loans to invest in their farms or businesses. This also means they have no control over the use of land or the benefits that come from it. Men generally control the household decisions, like how to use the family's assets. These disadvantages are often reinforced by practices that limit women's access to services, like training. Cultural beliefs can also restrict women's opportunities, such as in parts of Zambia where women cannot paddle their boats as it is considered bad omen. The results of these issues? Women remain poor, and agricultural production cannot reach its potential, perpetuating poverty and hunger in the developing world. The social norms that limit women's opportunities need to be understood and then changed. By taking a gender transformative approach, we can influence social norms and bridge the gaps in access to resources and services between men and women in a lasting manner. Change is needed on many levels, and both men and women must be involved for it to happen. Research and development organizations need to invest in programs that promote gender equality alongside improving productivity and incomes. Policies need to be implemented that increase women's access to services and resources. Communities need to support women as farmers and as leaders. Increasing women's voice and agency is a valuable end in its own right. When development organizations, policies, and communities support the success of women, we have a chance to reduce extreme poverty and boost shared prosperity for girls and boys, women and men around the world.
And that is all about gender equality today's generation. So now let us proceed for our Q&A, question and answer portion. So, why is gender equality important in the 21st century? Yes, Jessa?
Thank you for that, Mr. Arsenio. So, gender equality is crucial because it promotes fairness and equal opportunities for all individuals. So, regardless for their gender. So, it ensures that everyone can fully participate in society and contribute their skills and talents without discrimination. That's all.
Okay, thank you for that answer, Ms. Jessa. Yes, Manshi, do you have any answer?
Absolutely. I agree with Ms. Alfaro. Gender equality is essential for achieving social progress and inclusive development. It breaks down barriers that limit individuals' potential and enable us to tap into the diverse perspectives and talents of both men and women.
Okay, precisely, Miss Manchetinia. So now let us proceed for the question number 2. How can we empower women to overcome barriers and achieve gender equality? Yes, Miss Nicole?
So, thank you for that question, Mr. Adante. So, empowering women involves providing equal access to education and healthcare. And aside from that, in promoting economic opportunities and eliminating gender-based violence and discrimination. So it also requires challenging social norms and stereotypes that hold women.
Okay, thank you for that answer, Miss Nicole. Yes, Miss Sanapia?
So I also agree with what Ms. Nicole had said. So to add more, in empowering women, it also involves fostering supportive environments and networks, and also encouraging mentorship and leadership development programs to ensure that women have a voice in decision-making processes. Because empowering women, and especially as a woman myself, providing empowerment to women is like we are also given a chance to live our life to the fullest and to be able to perceive our own value. That's it.
Yes, I agree with that, Miss Sanapia. And now let's proceed for our question number 3. What role can men play in advancing gender equality and women's empowerment? Yes, Mr. Kyle?
Okay. When you say a role as a man, we as a man have an important role in playing in advancing gender equality and women's empowerment. So by actively engaging in a various action in an initiative, they can contribute to create a more inclusive and equitable society. So men can take initiative to educate themselves about the experience, challenges, and contribution of women. Also, actively listening to the women's experience and the perspective is vital for men's engaging in gender equality. Rather, that's all.
Okay, thank you for that wonderful answer, Mr. Kyle Santos. Yes, Mr. Neri Elton.
I agree on what Mr. Santos said. And to add more, men also serve as a role models and also a mentors. And also, men promote equal opportunities for women in an workplace and also work towards creating a more exclusive society that values and respect the contribution of all the genders.
Okay, very well said, Mr. Elton Neri. And now let's proceed for our question number 4. How can we address gender disparities in education and promote girls' empowerment? Yes, Miss Manchi Tinyo.
So, thank you, Mr. Arsen, for the question. Well, for me, addressing gender disparities in education requires eliminating barriers such as cultural biases, lack of access to schools, and early marriage. It involves also providing safe and inclusive learning environments, scholarships, and mentorship programs, especially targeted at girls.
Okay, thank you for that answer, Miss Manchatinho. Yes, Jessa.
Okay, to add, promoting girls' empowerment involves challenging stereotypes that limit their educational opportunities, ensuring quality and gender-responsive education, and involving communities in supporting girls' education.
Okay, very well said, Miss Jessa Alparo. And now, let's proceed for our question number 5. How can we promote women's representation in leadership and decision-making positions? Yes, Miss Sanapea.
So thank you for that question, Ms. Arsenio. So, to promote a woman's representation in leadership, to achieve it, it requires implementing policies and initiatives that ensure equal opportunities for women to assume leadership roles. And this can include quotas or targets, mentorship programs, and also creating inclusive workplaces that value diversity. Because through this promotion, it changes gender stereotypes by providing female role models, and by having more women in position of power, it promotes gender equality.
Now we're done with our topics. So I have a personal questions in regards to our topics today. So are you ready, guys? So do you have any personal experience with gender inequality, and how did you become an empowered woman or man after this experience? Why or why not? Yes, Miss Manchatinho.
Well, yes, for me, I do have experience about gender inequality. So, in my personal experience, I have encountered gender inequality in various aspects of life. So, way back from a young age, I noticed societal expectations and stereotypes that limited my choices and opportunities based on my gender. So, in educational settings, I witnessed subtle biases that favored male students in certain subjects or leadership roles, while girls were encouraged to conform to traditional feminine ideals. So, this disparity and expectations and opportunities fueled my determination to challenge these norms. So, I actively sought out opportunities to defy gender stereotypes, whether through participating in empowerment programs, taking on leadership roles, or advocating for gender equality. Although I face resistance and skepticism at times, I remain steadfast in my belief that my gender should not determine my capabilities or aspirations. By persistently challenging gender inequality and advocating for equal treatment, I strive to create a more inclusive and empowering environment for myself and for the future generations.
Very well said, Miss Manchatino. And now let's proceed for Kyle Santos. Mr. Kyle Santos, yes?
Yes, in my experience, when I was 12 years old, I was overweight and suffered from gender inequality and discrimination. Due to my looks, I was teased for being a fat kid in every circumstances, regardless of what I was wearing and on every occasion. I experienced gender discrimination at the time. I was tormented because I have man boobs. People tease me for what I look. So I have a low self-esteem. I was afraid to go outside because of my appearance, and um, I can readily acknowledge what I am a loser. But as well, uh, as I grow older, I came to realization that I must work for myself and embrace myself regardless of what others may think or say. Now, I am content with who and what I am, since all I want in my life is to be happy. And I am genuinely, dependently and continuously happy regardless of what others think. That's all.
Oh, I hope you embrace it, Kyle, and I hope you don't mind them. Okay? Yes, Mr. Neri?
So, in your question, Mr. Arsenio, I don't have any experience about gender inequality, but if ever I experience that thing, I would rather do something to them, like tell about what they do is not good for me, or to someone what they do to us, because that can hurt our feelings.
Okay, thank you for that kind of personal experience with gender inequality, Mr. Altaneri. Now let's proceed for Sanapia Makalatas.
So as for me, I am not quite sure if I've experienced a severe inequality, yet I do believe that even minor experiences is evidence that gender inequality is hard to disappear and stop, because I can still observe other people, which is their perspective of women is that when it comes to taking care of children and being a housewife is only a job that a woman could properly do. When for a mere fact, women are capable of doing multitasking jobs, which is they can be a housewife, a mom, and at the same time another person. So with that observation, I feel empowered as a woman, because if they only know how much it is difficult to take care of children, and yet for a woman it is not a hindrance to her if she want to achieve something, because being a woman, there is like a substance inside of us where despite of difficulties and discrimination we face, we are still fighting and could handle everything at the end.
Okay, thank you for that. Your sharing about your personal experience with gender inequality, Miss Sanapia Makalatas. Now let's proceed for Jessa Alfaro.
Okay. Okay. So I do have an experience also. So I experienced gender inequality in the family. Like for example, boys in our family, mostly they do is maintenance chores than us girls doing a domestic chores. So, and this made me think that gender has different roles, and I think this should be stopped because they think that women are weak and we are not capable of doing what men did. So, I believe that gender inequalities starts at home, and what I did after encounter that experience is I encourage myself to speak the problem to my family, and so far it went well. And as of now, my family treated me treated all of us fairly with chores. And I think that's it.
Okay, thank you for sharing your personal experience, Miss Jessa Alfaro. Now, let's proceed for our last panelist here. So, do you have any personal experience with gender inequality, Miss Nicole Lorenzo?
So yes, Mr. Dante. So based on my experience, before entering college life, I work as a cashier in a restaurant here at Davao, where it is a common job for a girl who wants to work. So during my work, I observed that some of my fellow co-workers, whom they call waiters, are so fast whenever they serve the food to the customer. So BB is one of my closest friends in that workplace, and I told him that I want to become a waitress because I want to experience those things that they've done. And suddenly he said, why not call? Pero amot na pud lagi sa to ang amo. And I asked him, ano di ay dili day pwede ang babae mahimong waiter diri ah? And he replied that ambot ra sad ko kay ang gusto manggod nila ma'am og sir kay lalaki ra daw kay kuskan o paspas. And I smiled him with a little bit of disappointment at those words that I heard. And to fast forward the story, so I talked to my boss and I said I wanted to become a waitress because I knew I had the capabilities to work that well, just like the other man. And they replied, nga no, kaya day nimo mag-alsag bukad, kaya day nimo mahimong paspas. And I answered, yes ma'am. Pakikabalo man ko ma'am na dili man tungod babae ko, dili na nako kaya. And then they gave me a chance to become a waitress, and yes, I'm one of them. And I became an empowered woman because of that experience, because I fought for my rights as a woman, not just a woman, but a woman with a beautiful goal in life, not just for myself, but also for others. Thank you.
Very well said, Miss Nicole Lorenzo, for sharing your personal experience with this kind of inequality in our society. And now let's proceed for our second questions. So do you have any thoughts in regards to our topic today, Miss Jessa Alfaro?
Yes, of course, I have. So I think what nice about our topic today is we promote changes of gender equality, and this is the best time to start. So if it's not the when, so we don't want naman to have our children and grandchildren or the next generation feel the same way what we experience. So why we start now? Since today, women are still not treated as equally as men. They are still facing discrimination because they do not have equal opportunities as men. So they don't have the same salary as men also. So men have so many privileges as their birthright, but women have always been struggling to get the same rights. So in short, there is still gender inequality. So I think that's it.
Thank you for your sharing your thoughts in regards to our topic, Miss Jessa Alfaro. Now let's proceed for Nicole Lorenzo. Yes?
So I agree with Miss Jessa said.
Mm-hmm.
So it is truly a society attains better development in all aspects when both genders are entitled to similar opportunities. So equal rights and decision making, health, politics, infrastructure, profession, and etc. will surely advance our society to a new level. So in my perspective on this topic, gender equality is the best way to to unite everyone, because I believe if we have equality in all aspects of our lives, then we can achieve the true meaning of unity.
Very well said, Miss Nicole Lorenzo. So now let's proceed our last question. What is your realization after disclosure? Miss Sanapia Macaletas?
So as for me, my realization after disclosure, I become more aware of my importance as a woman, and most especially, I become to love my gender more and realize why I should fight for my rights and why I should be an element to showcase how being a woman is a tough rule and deserve an equal treatment and opportunities. And also for the reason that to help empowering women is first starts within self.
Very well said, Miss Sanapia Macalatas. Now let's proceed for our second panelist, Miss Manchetinho.
For me, this topic is very sensitive and important because gender equality is fundamental to the achievement of human rights and as an inspiration that benefits of all society, including the girls and women. So after the discussion, I realized that no matter how big or small the problems of others are, gender should not be the basis of its level of frustration because human feelings don't dictate level of pain according to sex. So we should still fight to continue expressing ourselves because this is our feelings and no one should invalidate that feelings out of us. So we may be a man or a boy, a woman or a girl, but remember that we're still human being whose skin can cut easily, whose hands can break easily, and whose eyes can burn easily. So this should be a reminder to all of us that if you feel pain, then feel the pain. Do not pretend that as if it is the nothing just because society tells you to be something strong and invincible. So that's it for my realization, Mr. Arsenio.
Okay, very well said, Miss Manchetinho. So now we are done tackling breaking barriers, advancing gender equality, and women's empowerment in the 21st century. I hope you guys, you apply it in a real situation, and I hope that you will become an empowering woman and men in our future generation. Good night, guys, and have a great day.